YouTube going. It is functional, and now it's actually live on YouTube. It looks like awesome. Cool, guys. Yeah, so I think it'd be a lot of fun to build an app together, to build a game together, a cool little physics game together somehow, and yeah, spend some time, see how it goes. I want to show you what we did yesterday and pick up where we left off. We can build some cool stuff. This was a very simple called Verlet integration. So let's turn the animation off, and then as we drag, we can build very simple objects, right? And then when we hit the go button on the animation, everything happens, and everything just kind of flops around like crazy. And so what I would like to do today is add some more items to this, get it, yeah, just a little bit. I don't know, you can build some interesting things. I spent like 30 or 45 minutes on it last night, just completely dicking around and building just interesting, fun little things and making them just go crazy. It's really just kind of foolish, the things you can make and how much fun it is. Yay. Yeah, it's just fun. And then we can pick things up and move it around as well and toss things around. I had a blast just doing this last night. So anyway, that's what I want to do today. Is I want to take what we did yesterday afternoon, expand on it a little bit, give us some other interesting parts that we can play with today, and see what happens, and then just build fun stuff. Let you guys build fun stuff. All the code is up on GitHub, so you can check it out. And add and edit and do whatever you want. But that's the goal, is to make that happen. So let's see what we can do. So one thing that I was thinking of last night is right now you can only build sticks, and after you build a stick, the stick is that length, and it's not going to change after the integration. And so one thing he did in his latest video, and by he, I mean Keith, I always forget his last name. He's the Bit 101 guy at Twitter at Bit 101, did a Verlet integration in JavaScript, and we ported that to Objective-C. Excuse me. So one thing he did in his very latest video is he made points pinnable, so that even as you start the animation, they're kind of stuck to the background, and you can make things stuck, basically, and then you can swing it on. So he made like a little ball and chain that swings back and forth, which I thought was pretty great. The other thing he made was what he called an engine, and it was just a point that went back and forth, right? Just back and forth. And so that's what I want to do, is I want to make, you can drag it out, and you can make a stick, and then in between the 2 points of the stick, I want a point to be going back and forth inside of that stick, which I think would be pretty great. And if we can do that, then that means we can make items, right, which actually attach. It thinks that within the past millisecond, it went from here down to here, so its velocity is suddenly enormous, and it flies around like absolute craziness. So what I want to do is, oh, you know what we should also do? Let me do this real quick. I need to post the stream in one other place. Watch people, and get that going. Let me see if I can log in. Yeah, let's do it. But I think it would be a lot of fun to work on that today. I think we can do pinnable. Points today, and I think we can also hopefully do the engine today. I've only got a little bit of time before my daughter's birthday party, which we're going to. Cool. So let's get started. Let's do it. So the thing I was thinking of that stopped my thought process is to make pinnable points. I would like to be able to select points and then edit their attributes. So let's do that sort of quickly. Let's make a, I think we just have pan gestures. Let's make a tap gesture. And then if you tap on a point, if we can just tap on a point while the screen is up, right? Then it's going to load its points here, and if I tap not on a point, it's going to clear out that little UI, right? So we'll have a little user interface here for the currently selected point where we can change its attributes and we can change its whatever we want to change about the thing. So let's make a quick tap gesture recognizer. And then, right? And then add gesture recognizer, tap gesture, great. And then let's create down here the actual method that we're going to do. And then in a couple of different places, we have this code, which basically just gets the closest point to some other point. So let's take this and pull that code to somewhere more convenient. Get point near CG point. There we go. I feel pretty happy about that. There, now we can just use that in a bunch of places instead of copying and pasting that code everywhere like we did yesterday. So this is going to be, oh, I can't actually do that one because I'm not just next to the point. That's fine. But we can do it here. Right, and we can do it up here, I believe. Yep. That is also curloc. Great. Is there one other place? Yeah, so here we can get rid of that. Awesome. And then here, right? Equals self, tap gesture, location and view. Awesome. So this should give us the point if we tap near one. What I would like, let's actually save this into the currently selected point, right? Let's call it selected point. There we go. Awesome. Then we go here. And now we can let's make a properties view, a point properties view. I don't want to fill up this physics view too much more than we have to. Point props view, right? That way it'll just keep the main physics view a little bit tidier. Let's do knit with frame. I don't even need to customize that. I just need to do show point properties. Point. There we go. So what we're doing here is just showing the currently selected point. So I can pick up a point. Am I in? Yeah, I'm in animation mode. So I can pick up a point, which is great, and I can move it around and toss the object around. But I want to be able to click on a point and then select that one point, right? And when I can select it, then we can change the properties. When we change the properties, we can set it to pinned, so that way it's now immovable, and that's what we want. So that's what this guy is going to be here. Let's give him an interface of some bit. So I think, did I put the GitHub? I think the GitHub repo is still in the description, so you can actually check out the code that we're playing with. I think it would be really fun to work on this together and to figure out how to make some kind of just a derpy building game out of it. I think would be fun to do, and it's been a cool learning experience watching those videos and just building the first version of this thing. It was a lot of fun playing with it yesterday. So now we have properties view, right? And then the properties view. Make. So let's put the properties. We can just put it in the top left. It's fine. 200 wide and 250 tall. Great. Congratulations, us. And then add subview, properties view, right? And then one thing we'll do here is if point we're not hidden, else. Oh, actually, we can just do we are hidden if the point is if we don't have a point, right? If we don't have a point, don't show. Great. A little bit of fake caffeine, a little decaf coffee. If set that layer, border color, we'll give us that's fine. We'll give us a black color, and then we'll give us a little bit of a border around us as well, and we'll look really nice with a corner radius. Great. Right, and then here we can tell our properties view when we are tapped. What did we call it? I can't even remember the method. We just wrote it. Show point properties for the selected point. Awesome. So now when we run it and we tap and select a point, hopefully, hopefully, so I tap anywhere, it disappears. I tap near a point, it shows our view. Awesome. Awesome. Let's start it out hidden as well, because they have not selected anything yet. Awesome. Okay, so now let's do immovable, right? Our immovable switch. Yeah, we'll do a UI switch up here. The immovable switch. The switch is not immovable, but the point will be if the switch is on. Dot on, whatever. Add subview, great, and then let's put it somewhere. Point make. Let's put it. Oh, come on. Let's put it at like 50-50 in the top right corner. Right. That's fine. And then let's put a label next to it that just tells us what it is. Uh, 100 wide and 50 tall is fine. Text equals immovable. Size to fit, and then dot center. The X we'll put at what, like 120, 50? Is that fine? That feels good. It's all about what feels good. Add target, and then the selector will be immovable changed. UI control event value changed. Great. Great. And now we want to oh, hello CNN. Huh. Well, shoot me an email, HKCNN, and that's really funny. Yeah, the okay, so now we have our point. Let's do Let's save him in here too. And when we set the selected point, now we can do point set immovable, which does not exist yet. How's that feel? Pretty good? So now we need a property called immovable up here. Bool immovable. Yep, that feels good. Let's go synthesize, pretty good. Okay, so that feels good. I like that. So this guy should, do we all compile now? Are we happy about life? No, because I did point instead of selected point. Okay, so I think we're compiled now. But this property, the immovable property, is not respected yet. Let's see if that actually shows our switch and our label the way we think it does. Yep, great. And then let's move. Let's select a point. Tap. Yeah, great. Awesome. And then we also need to do dot on is equal to point dot immovable. Right? Awesome. Okay, so that should be true. And now let's make sure that that is respected, which needs to happen in update points. Because update points is where all of gravity happens and velocity happens and all that sort of business. If it's not immovable, then do stuff, right? Does that feel good? And then here, the same for the points. We only want to update the points here if it's not immovable. Oops, come on, let's type. There we go. And then I think there's one, is there one other place, or is that it? I think constraint points. Yeah, constraint, this probably won't happen, but we'll do it anyway, right? If immovable, if we're not immovable, awesome. Cool. Okay, so now I think it works. Let's find out. If it was that easy, I'm gonna be a happy little person. So let's just build a little chain of points over here with a little box at the end. Great. There's our beautiful box. Tap that guy, we'll make him immovable. Tap this guy, it's off. Tap that guy, it's on. So now when I hit on, this guy should stay put and it should kind of swing back and forth. Look at us. That's awesome. That's so much fun. That's so much fun. Okay, cool. So now I think we should make our little engine piece. Before we make the engine, let's make a piston. Let's call it a piston. Here's what we're going to do for a piston, right? So that's immovable. Okay, let's commit this so it's up there. Yeah. Movable points. For those of you wanting to follow along, there's the code base. You can see it on the screen. I think it's in the description as well, so you can look at it there, which is pretty great. I think what I want to do next is do a piston object. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do that, because there's regular lines, right, which we built just like that by dragging it out, and then it falls back. We can select a point. I feel like we need to be able to select a line. But man, that sucks. I hate that. I hate doing that. But let's do it. Let's select a line. Let's select a stick. That's fine. And should we? So first, let's just make the code, and then we have something to actually play with. Even if it's that we make all sticks pistons, we can at least do it, right? A piston extends a stick, right? That's fine. And now we have, and a stick is just 2 points in a length, right? So as we define this stick, that definition is, when I create it, it tries to be, okay, cool. It tries to stay the same length, right? So that's basically how the physics works, is whenever you move something around, at every frame, it moves every single point just a very little amount based on gravity, based on anything else. And so within the constraint that the stick is only that unchanging length. And so that length is calculated here when it's first created. And instead what I want to do is piston, and what I think we might make is that I want it to be able to dynamically change its length based on the frame, based on the tick, right? And so the tick here happens inside of our draw rect. Everything happens here, right? And we do update points. I think what we're also going to do is we're going to make a method called, we're just going to call it tick machines, right? And that's what we're going to call it. And our machines are going to be, for now, they're just going to be sticks. And then, oops, if this is a bad way to do it, but this is going to get us most of the way there, at least for a proof of concept, right? So if it's a piston, then we tick the piston. Tick, right? And then here we have an implementation of tick, and we also are going to override get length, I think the length property, that guy, right? Oops, length. Return the super length times 80 plus the times 0.2 times, what are we going to do? The cosine of our angle, right? Do we feel good about that? CG float angle, and then here our angle is going to be plus equal 0.1, right? Or even, yeah, that's fine, 0.1, whatever. So now it is going to oscillate between 20% under its length and 20% over its length, right? During the tick. And I think that's fine. What do you mean? Don't you lie to me. That's the ugliest code, but that's fine. That's what we're going to do. The other thing we're going to do is, yeah, stick with, and what we're going to do, stick with P0 and P1. I think what we're going to do is we're going to call it piston, and then piston, P0 and P1. Why not? Why don't you have that? You have that constructor. Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't, because it was private. Not anymore. Great. So now we can create pistons. Now we just need to decide when and how to make pistons. So if it ends, let's do this. Let's just make everything a piston, right? And prove to ourselves that it works. I like that idea. Piston. So everything is piston, which is crazy. It's going to be great. Here we go. Those are not pistoning, but I think that's probably okay. So if I make this right here, that's funny because the yeah, that's fine. And we make this guy immovable, and we turn it on. Yeah, you see that? See how they're going back and forth? That looks ridiculous. That's absolutely foolish. Truly foolish. Move. Let's attach it to the box. There we go. That's what we're talking about. That's awesome. That is awesome and silly. All right, so there you go. Decide on what a good interface would be. My goal with this stream is picking up from yesterday's stream. It's a super simple 2D physics engine. It's so dumb you could barely even call it an engine. But you can see it does do some stuff. That's just so much fun. It's just silly. It's based on the JavaScript code by Bit101 at Twitter. So the @ Bit101, he did it in JavaScript. We just did a pretty much clean port to iOS. I think it would be really fun to expand on it and try to make just a really silly machine building game out of it. And so the code is open source. If you guys want to check it out, it's in the description. I think it would be a fun thing to do together and just kind of make and see where it goes and what kind of things we can do. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to make a segmented control so we can actually decide, what is it called? This guy right here, the make move. I'm changed this guy. So this guy's going to be gone. We're going to make him a segmented control. So that switch is somewhere else. That switch is here. So this is going to be a UI segmented control. This is going to be called, yeah, we'll call it create mode, whatever. Init with items. I have no idea how segmented controls work. I think you just give them strings. Is that what you do? Yeah. An array of strings. Great. So the strings is going to be called make stick, make piston, or move point. Right? So those are our 3 modes. Awesome. And then that guy, and then, oops, sorry. My screen is jumping all around. Selected item is going to be 2, so it starts on move point. But let's start it on make stick. That makes more sense. That's fine. And then here, we don't need it to be on. The center can move left a little bit, maybe even more than that. We also want the target. I think that's the correct target for a segmented control. I think. Oops. Yeah. I think. Let's find out. And then here, mode changed. Create stick enabled. Oh yeah, okay, great. Yeah, so this is going to be grab point as if the create mode. This is a UI segmented control. That's what's throwing me off. Mode segmented control. If that's 2, then we're in move mode. If that is in, what's the other one? 1, 0 is stick mode. And for now, it's also going to be piston. Piston and stick are going to be the same thing for now. Right? So we can make sticks. No, we cannot make sticks. Can we make pistons? Yep, so that's fine. And can we move points? Yep, we can move points. We just can't make sticks. Why not? Because it's hitting this one afterward. Of course, that's fine. So let's make a create piston gesture. Create piston gesture, right? And now we will come down here. It's going to look pretty much the same as this guy. That, except the point is off and we're defaulting to sticks being on, which is fine. Create piston gesture. So let's turn this guy back into piston, a stick, sorry. We're going to cut and copy some code, which is ugly, but that's okay for today. We will clean things up later on, maybe. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, and the other thing we want to do is we want to default. So our piston starts with an angle of 0, and so a cosine of 0 is 1, right? Which means that it's going to be 1.2 times as long initially, and so I don't want that. Instead, what we want is we want it to be just a full length, and that's fine. That way when we're drawing the lines initially, they draw and they land at the same place. So now we do and then piston with point. There we go. And now we turn it on correctly. What oh no. I want this mode changed. I want create piston gesture. So now we should be able to create sticks, pistons, or points, or move points around. So there's a stick, it does not move. Here's a piston, it does move back and forth. So now let's build something just ridiculous. Let's just make a little thing and prove that it does what we think it's going to do. Right, so now the top should just go back and forth. Oh yeah, well it doesn't, that's ridiculous. Stick. What is that going to do? Is that going to break it? Yeah. This ridiculousness stuff. The piston right there. What does that guy do? That's silly. That is silly. That's silly. That's perfectly silly. Pistons again. All right. Man, that's a lot of fun. Okay, now let's. What else should we do? We have pistons working. What if we did So my other thought was to make a different kind of item. So, like, whereas right now we have this, right? There's a box, and if we have a piston on the box, that guy is immovable and that guy is immovable, right? So if we have the piston on the box, it just goes up and down. So my thought was to make another tool, and we can call this one an engine, where if you have like that, then suddenly the velocity is enormous. So what I would like to do instead is fix that. I feel like that's a bug of sorts. So let's go to, where is that? That's in grab point gesture. When we move the point and we're setting its velocity, so the point to replace, this makes a new point. Point to replace, yeah, we swap it out with the grabbed point, right? And the grabbed point P0 and P1. Oh, man, that's 2 days in a row I knock over my coffee. Can you believe it? So we grab the point, right? If I end it, and the point to replace, I'm sure you guys are seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I don't understand why this guy and this guy are different. If I have a, oh, yeah, I understand what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Okay, if I began, if I ended, yeah, if I end it, that's what it is. Okay, so if I end it near a, let's make some sticks, right? There we go. If I move this point, this is my grabbed point, and if I drop it here, it's actually going to replace and combine those. So that's what's happening there, is there's a point to replace. But what I also want to do is I want to figure out curloc, create stick. I don't actually understand where I'm moving it, where I'm setting its constraint points, enforce gesture. Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, if I have a grabbed point, yeah, okay. So my grabbed point here, I need to null the velocity of the point, right? And that's just going to be a method here and a method here. There. And now that should let us drag stuff around when it's paused and not but actually it might, yeah, because this guy, yeah, yes, because it's I moved this guy's point, but these guys still have their old velocity set. That's too bad. We'll just have to live with it, I suppose. What we could do is if the animation on-off switch is not on, then we can loop through all of the points and do that. That's fine. It's not the best thing in the world, but I think that'll be okay. Because now if I move something around, we're actually, yeah, I changed the velocity. I nullify the velocity of everything. But I can't grab that point. Why can I not grab stuff? I can grab one of them. I can grab that guy. Yeah, I can grab some of them. Okay, never mind. It's fine. Yeah, great. I think it's because pan gestures have like a minimum distance that has to happen, like a minimum amount of movement of your finger before they actually start triggering. Maybe not. Anyway. There we go. Awesome. All of the code is up. I might have to head out to dinner. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and head out to dinner. But yeah, the goal here, again, before I leave and before we do anything else, is I had fun just playing around with this and just sticking around with like random different machines and building stuff. And I think it would be a lot of fun to end up building some sort of a something out of it. Either a game or a, I don't know. Let's make that guy movable and that guy movable. I think that's going to have a hard time. Yeah. That's just silly. Anyway, I think you can end up like, even with really simple tools, and like it took a combined 3 hours over yesterday and today to make this thing. And already we have some like really interesting tools and interesting little things we can build with. And so I think it'd be really fun to work on this the next couple of days, the next couple of streams, build some more tools, whether it's engines or different parts and stuff, wheels and items that we can create, so we can make just really cool machines, and open source everything, so everything's in the repo and everyone can play with whatever they want to play with. If you guys want to add in stuff and then do pull requests, I think that would be really cool, and we can all just build it together. But I will try to do this again tomorrow with any luck. I think I'll be able to do a little bit more, and we can just play around with it as we go. So anyway, find me on Twitter, Adam Wolf, or get the code on GitHub, and we will do it again. Thanks, guys. I will see you tomorrow.